What is the best diet for preventing and healing cancer? Now, I know this subject is going to be very controversial. There's probably going to be a lot of comments and a lot of people disagreeing with this. But before I go into my opinion and what the science seems to reflect, let's just zoom out and look at some large-scale population studies. So one study where they looked at locations called the blue zones. Now, these are 5 zones around the world that have the highest percentage of centenarians, so people over the age of 100 in good health. So they looked at these populations and tried to figure out what they were doing that's different to the rest of the world. One aspect of that they looked into was the diet. Now, they're eating between 95 and 100% plant-based. So they're mostly plant-based diets, these populations are, and they're living well into their hundreds in good health. 3 of the biggest studies done on population and diet. The first is the Adventist Health Study 2, which followed 96,000 people. These are Adventists in America from 2002 up until now. Epic Oxford is another one, 65,000 people. They followed these from 1993 until now. And the Tzu Chi, 6,000 Buddhists in Taiwan from 2007 until now. Now, these are very healthy groups of people. So these people die 50% less than the average population when they compare like for like. So these are very healthy individuals. So you can't say that these are just healthy people, that's why they're dying less. So when they're breaking down the diets in these groups, they're actually looking at healthy person A versus healthy person B and just taking into account their diet differences. So it's a very good population study into diet compared to just picking some random people off the street. One could be very healthy, one could be not healthy, if you get what I'm talking about. So in the Adventist Health Study 2, 16% less cancer for the people following a vegan diet. They had 42% less cardiovascular disease, people following a vegan diet compared to those that weren't, and 62% less type 2 diabetes for the people following a plant-based diet or vegan diet than those that weren't. Epic Oxford had 19% less cancer for people following a vegan diet and 32% less cardiovascular disease. The Tzu Chi, they had 58% less breast cancer for the vegans than the non-vegans. And remember, these are healthy individuals, so only looking at the diet differences. For those individuals that were consuming soy daily, that 58% increased to 63% lower risk of breast cancer. And the vegans in this group also had 51% less type 2 diabetes. Now, let's look at some other studies outside of them 3 groups. One study found that for every 100 grams of meat eaten per day increased the risk of bowel cancer by 30%. One serving of bacon, which they put down as 2 rashers of bacon per day, increased the risk of colorectal cancer by 18%. Meat consumption increased the risk of breast cancer by 56% for each 100 grams consumed per day. Now, 100 grams per day, so that's a normal serving for most people, and that's increasing women's risk of breast cancer by 56% according to this study. Now, looking at the positives, for each 10 grams of whole grain per day, it decreased the risk of colorectal cancer by 10%, and that's for every 10 grams, not just a one-off. So for 20 grams, you're decreasing by another 10%. A study of 79,952 US men found that those who ate the most amounts of healthy plant-based foods had a 22% lower risk of bowel cancer than those who ate the least. Women who consumed 25 or more servings of vegetables weekly had a 37% low risk of breast cancer, 31% reduced risk of ER-negative breast cancer for those consuming 1 or more serving of blueberries per week, 31% reduced risk of breast cancer for 1 serving of blueberries per week. Now, I'll be going into different aspects of certain food groups in different videos and explain exactly why these food groups are so powerful for cancer. 41% reduced risk of ER-negative breast cancer for those women consuming 2 servings of peaches per week. 41% for 2 servings of peaches. And women who ate beans and lentils at least twice per week had a 24% lower risk of breast cancer than those eating it once a month. And the highest soy intake associated with 58% decreased risk of breast cancer. So we've got lots of facts there, lots of research, which clearly shows that a whole food plant-based diet is the best diet for preventing and healing from cancer. I don't know why this is such a controversial topic. The research and the data are overwhelmingly clear now. Every doctor and oncologist should be recommending a whole food plant-based diet for their patients. To not do this is doing the patients a disservice. Everybody needs to know this research. I can't see any research showing that meat, especially processed meat, is beneficial for cancer patients. And there's overwhelming research that every serving of whole grains, fruits and vegetables, soy, beans, lentils, all reduce the risk cumulatively for cancer. And that means for every extra serving you're taking on, you're reducing your risk even further. So why is every doctor and oncologist not prescribing a whole food plant-based diet when it's proven over and over again to be the most beneficial for preventing and healing cancer? This information needs to get out to more people. You can help heal cancer through diet. It's not the cure, but it's definitely decreasing the risk and improving survival.